Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about exploring Atlantic City. So, me and my wife just last week went to Atlantic City to celebrate our 25th wedding anniversary, which was really fun. We really had a nice time. It's a little different. We are evangelical Christians, and so we're not going to Atlantic City for gambling. So it's kind of an unusual trip. So it's the second time we've done this. I believe the first time we went was for our 20th anniversary 5 years ago. And so when we go, the reason we're going is if you go in January, which is off season, and if you go in the middle of the week, we went Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you can get outrageously good deals on hotels. So we actually got our hotel rooms at $80 a night, all fees, all taxes included, everything, which is, very, very low in our area. So it was great. We had a really, really nice time. So what can you do in Atlantic City in January? Well, you can walk the boardwalk. You can look at all the cool new stuff that the casinos have built and changed. And then you can walk on the beach, right? Now, you have to be geared up and ready for that, but we were. And so, we bring like some old junker sneakers and go out on they have like these rocky reef outcrops that go right into the ocean, and you can watch the surfers who are surfing in January. Oh my goodness, in like kind of high-tech wetsuits and all this kind of, it's really unusual, right? So basically, the reason why I'm talking about this today is, just kind of connecting Atlantic City to almost all my hobbies here. So one, I'm a huge fan of Dungeons & Dragons, and Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition has these pillars, and it is combat, interaction, and exploration, right? So in real life, you can't really do combat. You shouldn't be hitting anybody with anything, right? We're really blessed to live in a time of peace, so there's really no interaction for that. That's fully simulated within the game. But in real life, you can certainly interact with people and with your surroundings, and you can absolutely explore, right? And so that's one of the things that the trip to Atlantic City for me is exploration, seeing an area that's really different than ours. And when you go somewhere completely new and you just kind of open your eyes, you can see some shocking things, especially when you talk to the locals and just look around, right? So last time we went 5 years ago, we went to the Revel, and the Revel was a brand new casino that had just been built. It's no less than 20, 40, maybe even 50 stories high, right? It's huge. It has this huge hotel connected to it. It had this world-class casino connected to it. The entire thing is made of gleaming glass. So when you look at it, it looks like a metal shard sticking out of the beach, right? And it looks like something from a sci-fi movie, right? That's what it looked like 5 years ago, and that's what it looks like today. It looks exactly the same today as it did 5 years ago, okay? Except something is very different. So the last time me and my wife went there, both times we have stayed at the Resorts Hotel. If you are going and you want to know about the hotel, I can't tell you anything about gambling because we did not put a single quarter into a slot machine, and we did not bet a single dollar on any table or anything like that. But I can tell you that the Resorts Hotel is excellent. It has free parking. We've been there, free Wi-Fi, incredible deals through Expedia. And so, we really had a great time. It was really nice. The Resorts does it great. Last time we went, right, we stayed at Resorts, just like we did, so 5 years ago, we stayed at Resorts. But but when we would get up, we would sleep in late and then walk down to the end of the boardwalk and go to the Revel, right? And the Revel was brand new, and you could get like a steak for, a steak dinner for $8. It was ridiculous, like these really crazy deals, right? And they had everything. Like they had an indoor mall in the casino. They had a shop that was nothing but G-Shock watches. I'm a fan of G-Shock watches. They had, just like all the whole place is done in these unusual lights, and it was world class. Like, there were high rollers arriving from all over the world, literally being flown in, from the nearest airport. You'd see, people from Japan, from China, from Dubai, arriving in like Maseratis, and it was crazy. Like, it was, and this is Atlantic City. This isn't even like, this isn't Vegas, So this was 5 years ago, and the Revel was hopping, right? So the Revel was the hot new casino. Now, 5 years ago, when the Revel had just opened, right? A lot of people were wondering about the Revel because the Revel had just been built when Atlantic City was starting to die. Now, what is killing Atlantic City? Well, Atlantic City is in a lot of trouble, and the reason why is they have made their business, they've made their bones on casinos. And right now, throughout Pennsylvania, casinos are being added in Philadelphia. Casinos are being added in Delaware. Casinos are being added in New Jersey, and nobody needs to drive to Atlantic City because you can gamble right in your own backyard. Now, I think this is a terrible trend. I think it's really bad because it just takes the pain that casinos normally had isolated around them, people just gambling away their life savings, kind of things like that, and spreads it out. It's not a good thing, right? But the Revel had just built a brand new casino when there were already no less than like 10 casinos. Borgata, the Showcase, Showboat, Borgata, Showboat, Tropicana, Trump Taj Mahal. Boy, was it weird seeing the Trump Taj Mahal. So Trump Taj Mahal, resorts, valleys, like the list just goes on and on and on, right? So there were a lot of casinos before the Revel was open. Well, sure enough, I had heard about this since we had went 5 years ago, and on this trip, that was the most shocking thing I saw. We walked down to the Revel. The Revel did not look like it had changed one iota, except it was empty. The entire Revel was empty. This was a multi-million-dollar, multi-year building project. It cost a fortune. There were thousands of people hours invested in building this thing. There was design invested in it, design hours and money, just a lot of labor, a lot of resources. It's built right on the shore. It was amazing. Like, it was really an amazing feat of engineering, right? So they closed the Revel. The Revel is closed right now. When you walk up to it, it's like a ghost building, it's a memory of something that was, right? But it's not like a ruin, right? It's still completely functional, right? Which is amazing, right? And sad, right? And it reminds me of a verse in the Bible where it says, if a man is going to build a tower, he should count the cost, right? And I'm pretty sure that the people who built the Revel did not expect the cost of building it and funding it and having no returns within 5 years, 0 returns. Now, I talked to the locals, and we were, some of the chefs who, actually work there and, cook at the hotels, some of the people who are just walking on the boardwalk, some of the locals, and they said to a person, every single one of them said, "Oh my goodness, that poor Revel owner, the city is giving him such a hard time reopening the Revel. That thing should," but they say it's going to be open within a few months, right? So the owner had to shut down because there wasn't enough traffic for all of the existing hotels and for the Revel, right? Which is really, again, it's just shocking and sad. And then, I was just listening to what the locals were saying, and and when somebody says something to you, you're trying to empathize with them, you're trying to hear them, right? And I was thinking about it, and then I was like, yeah, it's really sad for the Revel owner. But the more I thought about it, but then me and Leanne were just walking along the boardwalk, and I realized that not only was the Revel closed, But the Trump Taj Mahal was closed as well. And the Showboat was closed, right? Now, the Showboat and the Trump Taj Mahal, I think they were only closed in the week, during the week. The Revel is closed all the time. But the Showboat was closed. Its door was closed. You could not walk into that casino, right? And so was the Trump Taj Mahal. And these are the three casinos on the far end of the boardwalk, right? And they were all closed, right? And so it was just really fascinating to see. And I thought, I'm not sure that the injustice is that they won't let the Revel reopen. The injustice was that they ever let it open to begin with, right? Anybody could have seen that when you were building casinos in every city surrounding Atlantic City, that Atlantic City was going to die, right? That was not the time to build a bright, shiny new casino that was going to give competition to every existing casino that was already struggling, right? So it was just, it was really fascinating just to see this situation and to see how people can be smart enough to fund a multi-million-dollar project and, can build just these credits to really interesting design, to interior design, just a gorgeous creation. The Revel is an amazing building, right? It is. It's a great place to stay. It's an incredible building, right? But the reality is, the more I think about it, the more I think it should never have been built. All right, it didn't make any sense, right? And and it's really interesting to see, it took an incredible force of will to get the Revel built. There was money that had to be funded. There were hundreds of people who had to work on it. There were, laborers that had to be brought in. There's so much design work, so much labor, and it's all gone. It's just, it's there, and that building, probably well over 1,000 rooms, just completely empty, doing nothing. So that's one of my. So essentially, I would say the thing I saw in my explorations in Atlantic City this year was the modern ruins, perfect and pristine, unmarred in any way, of the Revel. Take care, everybody.